Let's make some Texas Twinkie Dip. It's easy, and you know it's gonna be delicious. All right, the first thing we wanna do while our skillet is heating up is go ahead and get our bacon cut up so we can get it cooked and rendered. Now, I just bought some cheap, thin cut bacon is all I bought. All right, now that we've got that bacon cut, I'm gonna go ahead and deseed some jalapeños and get those diced up. All right, we've got our Smokin Brothers Premier 30 pellet grill fired up, and I've got a cast iron skillet in here, a 10-inch Yeti pan. I've got our 1 pound of thin cut bacon all chopped up, and I'm honestly just gonna get it in there. I know it's gonna take a minute to render down on here. Now, once I get all that bacon on the grill there, push that skillet back a little bit, and I'm just gonna let it go. It'll start rendering. Now, we've been running the grill at 275. I probably do need to turn that up. I'm gonna run that up to 350 degrees to cook our bacon, render it down. Then we're gonna throw these jalapeños in there. Now, I've deseeded them, chopped them. I got 4 of them. We're gonna let them cook just a little bit, just to get a little bit of the crispiness out of them, if I can say that right. And then we're gonna get the rest of our Texas Twinkie Dip mixed up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It sounded really good last night when we were talking about it. I was like, man, it's gonna be a kick butt recipe.
It has to be unique. I've never done this recipe before. I'm doing it off the whim. You know, I hadn't done any Texas Twinkies on camera. I've got some leftover brisket, and I was like, seeing those corn chips. So Ryan, will you tell us a little bit more about the Premier 30 here?
Yeah, I'll have to admit, this is the first grill that I didn't come up with in concept form. My brother actually came up with it. We had a 24, we had a 36. I said, Adam, it doesn't make sense to come up with a 30. I mean, it's only 6 inches smaller or 6 inches bigger. Because Ryan, it's the perfect size for built-in models. And year to date, this is our #1 selling grill since 2012 after that comment. So what I like about it, and what we did is, like I said, it just fits perfect. Where it's the right size for a big party, or small enough to where you don't feel bad throwing a chicken breast on and get it done for yourself.
That's right.
But some of the details about it, like what I like more than anything, is how we build all our grills. Sturdy, strong. We got a welded frame to the body of the grill. There's no bolt-on legs to it. So if you hit that with your truck, you're gonna do more damage to your truck than you will our grill.
So it's not gonna bend and fold over when you run into the caster into something then, right?
No, you mess up and hit a chat or something like that, but with our 4 locking casters, as well being 4-inch, you roll about over anything you want.
Well, I really loved the barn design here, hexagon design, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really cool concept because it allows for that natural airflow.
Exactly. And in convection cooking, what you really want is the turbulence. You want turbulence in there to bounce the heat all around your foods. You don't ever have to worry about flipping anything, because then that way all your heat is hitting equal sides.
That's right. Well, I know this dip is going to be good.
I can't wait.
All right, our bacon has been rendering about 30 minutes. We did take and move it up to the top shelf as soon as we killed the camera a while ago. So let's take a look at it. Yep, starting to render good now. Still got a little bit ways to go, but it is starting to render in brown. So we're just gonna kind of keep letting it brown up. We get it all cooked and rendered down. We're gonna take it off, cool it off, and cook these jalapeños. All right, our bacon's been cooking about 45 minutes here, and I'm gonna say that we are rendered. Look at that. Now, it only takes a few more minutes to cook this bacon on the grill like this, and you know it picks up a little bit more of that smoked taste. And that's what we're all looking for, something a little bit unique. Now I'm gonna take my bowl that I had my raw bacon originally in, and I'm gonna get rid of some of this bacon grease. And we want to leave a little bit of that in there. Now I'm going in with those jalapeños. I want to get them just a little bit of crisp out of them and brown them just a second. And you know there's nothing wrong with a little bacon grease. All right, let's get that grill lid shut. Let those jalapeños do some smoking and cooking, and we'll be right back. All right, let's check on our jalapeno peppers. It's been about 5 minutes. You see they're starting to cook a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is, just because I want this to cook too, I've got 2 cups of chopped diced brisket. You can cut it as small or as thin as you want, completely up to you. You can shred it, you can use burn ends, you can do whatever you like. me, I'm gonna take and dump it right in here with that. All right, get it back in there. I'm gonna say that's gonna need a good 15, 20 minutes to start rendering. Let's go in here and prep some cream cheese and start smoking a little bit of cream cheese to dump in the skillet with it. All right, as you can see, we've got 2 blocks of cream cheese in our 12-inch Yeti cast iron pan. I'm gonna take some of our competition rub. I did score that a little bit. Put a little bit of that rub on there right there, just like that. I'm gonna go get this on my grill while the brisket and the jalapeños are kind of getting translucent just a little bit and warm it up. I'm gonna smoke this cream cheese just a little bit and dump everything into that skillet, mix everything around with some more cheeses and some barbecue sauce. And we're gonna have some Texas Twinkie Dip. That is starting to warm up a little bit. I'm gonna move it down to the bottom rack. I'm gonna get that cream cheese up here like that. I'm just gonna let them go a few minutes, probably about 15 minutes. We'll be back and start mixing some dip together. All right, we just pulled our brisket and our peppers out. You can see they're warm, they're where they need to be. This smoked cream cheese here, it's been about 20 minutes. It's got that nice jiggle to it, what we're looking for. Now, once I've got the cream cheese mixture kind of where I want it at, I'm gonna come back with a little bit of this bacon in here. This is almost a pound of bacon. I'm gonna put about 3/4 of a cup in there, or 3/4 of the pound, excuse me. Now I'm gonna mix that smoked cream cheese around. Probably don't wanna pick these up like that. And get those jalapeños and brisket in there. Oh yeah. Now, I've got 8 ounces of Monterey Jack and 8 ounces of cheddar. I know I'm not gonna use all this, but I am gonna go in with probably 3/4 of it and save a little bit for the top. Now, I do wanna use a little bit of my beef rub in here, and then we're gonna come back with a little more of that competition rub. And just for good measure, I'm gonna do some sweet barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna say that's about 1/4 of a cup. It's not very much at all. It's just enough to impart just a little bit of flavor. This is gonna be so cheesy and so good. Now, once you've kind of got it all semi-mixed around, I know it's not all incorporated the best it should be, but it needs to melt some more. So just kind of, you wanna spread it out and get it on your pit, and let's let this cheese kind of melt some more. And then we're gonna stir it around and top it with some more cheese and a little bit more of that bacon and call it a day. So let's just get this back on our pit. Let's let it get warm, mix it up some more. We're gonna have some awesome dip. All right, once we got our Texas Twinkie Dip back on the grill, it's been on here about 30 minutes right now. So I've kind of moved it down to the bottom rack. You can see it's hot, it's bubbly, right? Where it needs to be now, you can kind of see around the edges. I don't wanna get it too crazy. So right now is when I want to go ahead and put a little bit more of this cheese on, because you know it don't have enough cheese. Come back with a little bit more of that bacon. I will say the only thing I could maybe add on this now would be a little green onion once it comes out if I had some, but I don't have any. And another thing, I think you could use 3 blocks of cream cheese to make it a little more creamier and a little more fuller in this 12-inch pan. Just 1 more block. But it also depends on how many people you're doing it for. You cut this recipe in half and it'd be perfect for an 8-inch skillet. Now, once it gets nice and melted and bubbly, we're gonna have to break out those chips and give it a try. All right, our Texas Twinkie Dip is ready to come off. Oh yeah. Look at that. That right there is gonna be one heck of a cheese skillet with bacon, jalapeños, the brisket. It's something that's not traditional, something a little bit different, but I know it's gonna be good. But we have to let it cool down a minute. Let's get it in the house, let it cool down. We don't wanna burn every bit of skin off of the roof of our mouth and our tongue. So we definitely have to let this cool down. Let's get it in here, get some Fritos ready, and get ready to get a scoop. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is recap a little bit about our Texas Twinkie Dip. So I did not really have a recipe what I went by today. I was just throwing this together as I went. I just got a very vague idea in my head about this. I did do some Googling about it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I didn't, but I made it almost like a Texas Twinkie and just kept adding stuff to it. We got bacon, cheddar and Monterey Jack cheeses, cream cheese, chopped brisket, our barbecue rub, and some barbecue sauce. I will say, and of course the jalapeno is the star of the show, but I will say that I felt like putting this together, I would use one more block of cream cheese next time, and maybe even only Monterey Jack cheese instead of cheddar. I think I would change it up just a little bit, but that's just on me. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever cooked this on camera, just trying something new, so we're gonna be trying it together. Let's get in here, take a bite, and see what it's like. Whew, well, it's hot. I know that. For me, I'd definitely add the one more block of cream cheese. I'd like a little more sauce drizzled on top. Other than that, great flavor. I think the jalapenos, you may even could add 6 instead of 4 if you wanted a little more heat. But you can see the chunks of brisket. Besides for it being less heat, or less of a jalapeno taste, let me say that. This is the same taste that you would get making a traditional Texas Twinkie. Be sure to give this one a try. Tag us, let us know how you changed it and made it your own recipe, or what you would do different in the comments below. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course YouTube. We'll see you next week with another video.